The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The F&M axing menace. Pintard confirming the former Prime Minister won't get a nomination in the upcoming general election. The central bank governor says the U.S. trade war will likely slow tourism. And the world-famous Valley Boys pressing on despite the Registrar General's determination. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up today. Wake up. It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, April 7th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio. Drawn in a moment. Deandrew Cartwright will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be talking with students who took part in Model UN here in the Bahamas. And later in business, we're kicking off a series with the Ministry of Health. Today, we're focusing on mental health issues. A lot of those to discuss today. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, F&M leader Michael Pintard says that he has asked Killarney MP Dr. Hubert Minnis, the party's former leader and former Prime Minister, not to run in the next general election. Pintard making the revelation to a crowded room of F&Ms at the party's Mackey Street headquarters yesterday. He said, quote, "The reality is not everybody's going to serve as a candidate in order for us to demonstrate that we value them. Your services can be in any number of areas in the lead up to the election and after the election. I've met with our former leader. I've indicated to him that we can benefit from, and I've asked him for his support in a different capacity. I've indicated to him that we can benefit from his guidance as we strategize to retake and transform this country. I've asked him to provide additional information that many times only prime ministers know that would lead us to defend our record as a party." Pintard making those comments, surrounded by Deputy Leader Shannon Don Cartwright, F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands, and Secretary General Servant Roll. Asked if Minnis agreed to step down, Pintard said he did not. Pintard going on to say, quote, "It's not about stepping down. We still have time left in this administration, and we fully expect all of our members of Parliament who truly love their constituents would continue to serve until that time ends." He did say that he would consult with his family. We've not heard back from him, save and except through emissaries, and the party must do what we must do. Well, Minnis was first elected in Killarney in 2007. During that term, he served as Minister of Health. In 2012, when the party was defeated, he was elected party leader, succeeding former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham. Though his time as opposition leader was tumultuous, he led the party to victory in 2017. Minnis, though, criticized heavily for his handling of Hurricane Dorian's aftermath in 2019 and the COVID pandemic months later. The party suffered a bitter loss in 2021, and shortly after, Minnis stepped down as party leader. While the world-famous Valley Boys removed from the register of non-profit organizations, it says it remains officially registered with the JCNP, the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, and is continuing its parade preparations accordingly. In a statement Thursday, the group said that they were notified of the decision by the Registrar General regarding the registration of the non-profit organization, but, quote, we remain officially registered with the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence and are actively preparing for the upcoming Junkanoo season. This development does not hinder our operations, performances, or our unwavering commitment to upholding the proud legacy of the Valley Boys. The group, one of the country's preeminent Junkanoo groups, has been embroiled in turmoil over its leadership, leading to a split last year into two factions, the world-famous Valley Boys, led by Brian Adderley, and the Way Forward Valley Boys, led by Trevor Davis. While Adderley has led the Valley Boys for many years, Davis has claimed that the group did not have a constitution or a structure to guide the leadership selection process. Police investigating the discovery of a lifeless body of a man on a beach on Paradise Island. This was Saturday morning. Police say the body was found around 5:30 a.m. It's unclear what the cause of death was. Police also investigating still that horrific accident from Friday. A 26-year-old garbage operator got his head stuck in a garbage compressor on Prince George Wharf. According to police, the incident happened sometime after 2 a.m. Police say the man sustained severe injuries to his head and was taken to the hospital where he was last listed in critical condition. Two people shot in separate incidents in New Providence over the weekend. The first after midnight on Saturday. Police say several men got into a fight at a business near Arawak Key. One of the men fired a gun, injuring another. The victim was taken to the hospital where he was last listed in stable condition. Then a 43-year-old woman was shot and robbed outside a home on Pigeon P Lane off Camperdown around 12:30 p.m. Saturday afternoon. Police say the gunman fled the scene in a red SUV. The victim was taken to the hospital listed in stable condition. Police appealing to anyone with information to contact them at 911-919 or 502-9991. Two New Providence teenagers remanded to prison after facing charges for separate murders that took place a day apart. 19-year-old Quinton Hart of Spence Street and a 16-year-old resident of Kwaku Street appeared before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. Prosecutors allege that Hart gunned down 18-year-old Jahim Rene at McCullough Corner on March 29th. Rene was reportedly walking with another person when Hart shot him in the street. The minor, who appeared with his grandmother, is accused of the March 30th murder of Kevin Cooper, the 50-year-old, also known as Kevin Carey, and Kevin Evans. According to police, Cooper was shot multiple times about the body following an argument with another man. Neither Hart nor the minor had lawyers at their court appearances. Hart was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services, while the minor was sent to the Simpson Penn School for Boys. Their matters were adjourned to July 3rd for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment that will send the case to the Supreme Court. And a judge asking prosecutors to review the file of a man accused of murder after he expressed concerns about prospects of success at trial. Justice Dale Fitzpatrick made his remarks after the case of Sean Lang was called up for a trial date to be set. The 53-year-old Lang is accused of killing his 84-year-old mother, Pearl Lang, on March 7, 2022. Police did not initially suspect foul play, but filed a murder charge after getting an autopsy report. However, Fitzpatrick found prospects of success troubling, as the autopsy said the probable cause of death was asphyxia. Fitzpatrick asked for the file to be reviewed and adjourn the matter to May 30th for a status report. If the prosecution decides to proceed with the case, the trial date will be set at that time. Lang is on bail at this time. Overseas, global stock markets extending a severe plunge today, fueled by fears that U.S. tariffs would lead to a global economic slowdown. European and Asian shares saw dramatic losses. The leading U.S. index flirted with bear market territory in pre-market trading, and oil prices sagged. The massive sell-off is riskier assets at the start of the trading week follows U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement of a sharply higher U.S. import taxes and retaliation from China that saw markets fall sharply Thursday and Friday. Tokyo's Nikkei 225 index lost nearly 8% shortly after the market opened, and futures trading for the benchmark was briefly suspended. It closed down 7.8%. European shares followed Asian markets lower, led by Germany's DAX index, which briefly fell more than 10% at the open on the Frankfurt Exchange, but recovered some ground to move down 5.8% in morning trading. In Paris, the CAC 40 shed 5.8%, and the Britain's FTSE 100 lost 4.9% in the European morning. Israel has dramatically expanded its footprint into the Gaza Strip since relaunching its war against Hamas last month. It now controls more than 50% of the territory and is squeezing Palestinians into shrinking wedges of land. The largest contiguous area the army controls is around the Gaza border, where the military has razed Palestinian homes, farmland, and infrastructure to the point of being unable to be inhabited. According to Israeli soldiers and rights groups, the military buffer zone has doubled in size in recent weeks. Israel has depicted its tightening grip as a temporary necessity to pressure Hamas into releasing the remaining hostages taken during the October 7, 2023 attack that started the war. But the land Israel holds, which includes a corridor that divides the territory north from south, could be used for wielding long-term control. Human rights groups and Gaza experts are concerned about this. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last week said that even after Hamas is defeated, Israel will keep security control in Gaza and keep Palestinians and push for Palestinians to leave. Major flooding in the Congolese capital of Kinshasa has killed at least 22 people and cut off access to over half of the city and the country's main airport. Most of the fatalities in Friday's deluge were caused by collapsing walls. The main road to the airport was damaged by flooding, but is now reopened to light traffic and will be open to all traffic within 72 hours. The road also links Kinshasa to the rest of Congo, and officials worry about the impact on trade. Following the flooding, several prominent members of civil society called on the mayor to resign, while the local government claimed the flooded and collapsed homes were not built with urban planning standards. In addition to the 22 deaths, 46 people were hospitalized, and a further 75 families will be temporarily housed in the nearby stadium. In sports, with multiple qualifiers this past weekend, in addition to the ones who had pre-qualified, the B3A is set to name what is expected to be a full 80-member team, or close to it, at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium this evening. The Splice and Connect B3A's crafted trials wrapped up at the original Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium on Sunday evening, and the 3 days of competition living up to its billing, multiple qualifiers across the board. The finals of the 100 and 400 meters were the featured events on the track. You can read all about it. And the expected showdown of the Zions in today's Guardian Sports section. A couple of Bahamians were in action at the first ever Grand Slam Track League meet taking place in Jamaica National Stadium in Kingston over the weekend. Co-national record holder in the men's 100 meters, Terrence Jones, gradually getting back to form from a severe hamstring injury coming off the indoor season in 2024. He competed in the men's 100 and 200 meters, the meet, the first of 4 stops of the Grand Slam Track League this year. Also in action, Zanisha Cartwright getting her outdoor season started in the women's 100 meters. Back to Jones. He crossed the finish line in 6th place in the men's 100 meters Friday, clocking 10.26 seconds. Cartwright ended up 6th in the women's 100 hurdles, crossing the finish line in 12.96 seconds. From college basketball, UConn returning to the top of women's basketball, dominating South Carolina 82-59 to capture its 12th title. Tonight, it's the men's turn. Houston playing Florida. And for Major League Baseball, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays agreeing to a $500 million 14-year contract that starts in 2026. That's according to a person familiar with negotiations speaking to the Associated Press. The deal that removes what would have been the biggest star from next offseason's free trade market. Guerrero's deal does not include any deferred money. Guerrero agreed in January to a $28.5 million one-year contract that avoided arbitration, and the four-time All-Star first baseman had said he wouldn't negotiate after he reported to spring training in mid-February. Still, talks with his agent continued well into the regular season. He got the third largest contract in total dollars behind outfielder Juan Soto's $765 million 15-year contract with the New York Mets that started this season, and two-way star Shohei Ohtani's $700 million 10-year agreement with the Los Angeles Dodgers that began last year and is heavily deferred. Guerrero's $35.71 million average annual value under the new deal ranks 8th among current contracts, behind Ohtani, Soto, and a few others, but that's some big money there. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. First look at weather for today. We've got high pressure ridging that continues to shift eastwards while supporting moderate southerly winds over the country through tonight. By tomorrow, an active cold front is going to slide off the east coast of central Florida across the northern Bahamas. And by late afternoon, we'll start to see the impacts of that. Severe weather conditions such as heavy showers, possibly strong thunderstorms, potential for flooding, and possibly even hail, and that can continue during this period. Well into the middle of the week, a low will form along this front and interact with tropical moisture, keeping the window for possible shower and thunderstorm activity open for the country into the weekend. There is a moderate risk of rip currents for all areas of southeast of the southeast Bahamas and the Atlantic waters of the Central Islands, and a marginal risk of rip currents for Atlantic waters for the rest of the country. So for today, we're looking at partly sunny conditions for the northern and northwest Bahamas, a mix of sun and clouds for the central and southeastern islands. Only about a 10% chance of showers today. Winds southerly at 15 knots with higher gusts for the extreme northern islands. Southeast to south at 15 knots with occasional gusts for the northwestern Bahamas. And east-southeast to south-southeast at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. For the central and southeast Bahamas, increasing 15 knots with higher gusts by tonight for the extreme southeastern islands. Temperature-wise, today is going to be a warm one. Highs around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. We'll have an extended outlook and more on this cold front and what we can see by Tuesday and Wednesday across most of the country coming up. You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way? Wake up, it's a new day.
Fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, Air, the Athlete's Foot, and BTC, Games and More, John Bull, Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clocks and Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic is where trusted and best care meets consistency and dedication. Let our expert specialists take you on a healthcare journey where warmth, compassion, and your well-being come first. From diagnosis to prescription, we are with you every step of the way, ensuring your peace of mind. Visit us today at Centerville Medical Center, Collins Avenue and 6th Terrace, and discover quality, compassionate healthcare at Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way? It's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Float, Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by VTC 422-4796. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, DeAndre Cartwright will be joining us. Also this morning, we're going to be talking with the students who took part in the Model UN here in the Bahamas. We'll get them today. And later, we're kicking off a new series with the Ministry of Health, and we are looking at mental health issues. We know we have seen an increase in suicides, and we see an increase in the number of people who do not appear to be well, roaming the streets of especially New Providence, but also apparently in Grand Bahama as well. We're going to talk about all of this morning. That's ahead. But first, it's time for to take a look at what else is in the news. And in the news, it seems to be all that everybody's talking about, what's happening within the FNM and the future of Dr. Hubert Minnis, the former prime minister, who has been told by the FNM leader that he's not going to be on their ticket in the next general election. This is what Michael Pintard is saying. Big press conference yesterday to make this announcement that has been a rumor for quite some time now. Them making it official that this is their stance. Let's get to what happened at the press conference yesterday. Then I know you all have a lot to say about it. Take a listen to this report from our Vonique Toot.
Killarney MP Dr. Hubert Minnis will not receive another Free National Movement nomination for his longtime constituency, according to party leader Michael Pintard, who made the announcement during a news conference at FNM headquarters on Sunday. Pintard says he met with Minnis and indicated the party wants his support in a different capacity.
That we can benefit from, and I've asked him for, his support. His support in a different capacity than he has served remarkably in Killarney for a number of years. I've indicated to him that we can benefit from his guidance as we strategize to retake and transform this country. I've asked him to provide additional information that many times only prime ministers know that will allow us to defend our record as a party. I've asked him to continue his line of attack on government legislation, policies, and bad programs that do not assist our development. I've also asked him to share his views on who he believes might be a suitable replacement for him in Killarney.
Minnis first won the seat for the Western New Providence constituency under the Hubert Ingram-led FNM in 2007 and has been Killarney's voice in the House of Assembly for 4 consecutive terms. When asked why the decision was made not to renominate Minnis, Pintard insisted the decision did not rest with the party's leadership and suggested the former FNM leader had not been present for many meetings or been supportive.
This is not a Michael Pintard thing. It's not a Shenandoah Cartwright, Dwayne Sands, a Fent Roll thing. We have a number of organs in the party where decisions are made, and we get to hear directly from the two arms of this organization that makes the decision, the executives of the party and the council of the party. One of the things that's important, anyone representing us going into the election must have a commitment to be intimately involved with the caucus. Whether that's the parliamentary caucus when we are holding meetings and strategizing on the way forward, whether it's the executive where we are planning what this organization is going to do, the ways in which we must make adjustments to be ready to serve the Bahamian people, or the council. Those persons who are not minded or are unable to consistently participate and make a contribution, or whose message oftentimes we are unaware of what the nature of it, or it does not dovetail with what we're attempting to do, they put us in a very, very difficult position.
Pintard says they met with the Killarney Association and shared some of their concerns. He expressed optimism that they will enjoy the support of executives of the Killarney Branch Association and constituents of the area. The former Prime Minister attempted to unseat Pintard as leader last year at the FNM's one-day convention. However, the opposition leader made it clear that there is room for Minnis in the FNM.
This party does not belong to any of us up here, or any of the officers of this party alone. It belongs to all of us. There is a place for Dr. Minnis in the Free National Movement. And our former deputy leader, Desmond Bannister, there is a place in the Free National Movement for them and those that supported them. And so I want to make that crystal clear.
Minnis led the FNM to an election victory in 2017, but the party suffered a stunning defeat in 2021. Minnis stepped down as party leader shortly thereafter, with Pintard elected as his successor. Longtime party supporter Philip Ferguson told reporters outside FNM headquarters he does not agree with the decision to deny Minnis a nomination.
The former Prime Minister of this country is still a respected individual in this country. And if this unity is shown to him, I'm certain he has a lot of supporters who will change their mind from wanting to support the opposition. So all I've heard today is a bunch of deflection. I haven't been satisfied with what I heard. If they say they're going to do something for him, but he needs to be a candidate. If he's not a candidate, we're going to lose thousands of votes because of him being set to the sideline.
Pintard says they hope to announce about 20 candidates by May. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonnie Toot.
Okay. Interesting stuff. DeAndre Cartwright is with us. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight Strachan. How you do?
Doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. All right. So this is something. Minnis was attempts were made to reach Minnis for comment, but as of press time, no, he's not said anything. All right. So let's get your reaction to it, folks. What do you think? Is the FNM making the right decision? If the people of Killarney love Minnis so much, should he run as an independent? What should happen here? Me, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. The phones are already lit up. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to both of you. I'll piggyback on the last thing that was said from the last person who spoke. He said that you will lose thousands, and I truly believe you will win thousands.
Oh, boy.
The last election results does indicate that there were many persons not trying to take away from Mr. Minister's whatever he did. He did much good. Let's give it. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people seem to have problems with whatever was done with Dorian. I don't have them all that the people are saying, but certainly some people do. they say the majority wins. So the point that I'm saying is there's always risk in everything that you do. Mr. Pintard has been chosen, and I truly believe a true round and support Mr. Pintard. Now, both of you, as I'm speaking, we realize that anything you do, there are pros and cons, there are advantages and disadvantages. So that is life. But I truly believe if you are going to be a team player, then that ought to be seen. You ought to be seen as a team player and not showing up and having your clique behind being a distraction. We don't need that. So I will hang up and listen to what others have to say, but I truly believe if we lose thousands, we will win thousands. Thank you.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Got another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Morning to you and good morning to your guest.
Morning.
Hey, good morning, Bahamas. Boy, Dwight, let me tell you something. I hear that support of this now. Boy, hey, I really could pray for them, Dwight. Listen, you know what is the problem right here, Dwight? And the Bible, the word of God is clear, you know. If a house is divided, it will fall. It cannot be successful. And it's quite clear that they're having internal division and wars going on. And I don't care what people out and try to print it up. But Mr. Minister, our feelings. He have feelings. And the fact that internally, when they had the contest for leadership, the people didn't even vote for Minister. They won't spend that, so he catch feelings on that. Now, when he came again, voting for nomination, they ain't give him that again. You really think the Minister might really sitting back and they happy? No, I don't care how much they try to put it up the way. Pride is at stake right now. And there for them, this is not looking good for them. And like that man said, because the Ministerites and the Ingramites, I don't know how they can vote, but I know Pintard might. I know he has his vote. His vote is his supporters within the party, but them Ministerites, I feel like Beeman go to White. I feel like Beeman are the most spiteful voters ever. They're the most spiteful voters ever. And because they didn't handle Minister properly, they just caused a major downfall for them.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Well, so we are confirming that we vote for who the leader is and not the representative in the constituency. We are confirming it once and for all. Not that there was any doubt about it. Okay. All right. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. It's been a long time. How are you?
Doing well. Good to hear you.
Okay. I totally disagree with the last caller. Person tends to say whatever they want to from the outside looking in, okay? Everybody knows the F&M is a party of choice. That's right. Come May this month, when the F&M stepped out with Dr. Minnis, that is, because I think Dr. Minnis is an F&M despite. I think Galani is F&M. And person is going to vote F&M. It's easy for you to say what they do to Dr. Minnis, okay? But it's what happened. It ain't the first time it happened, and anybody, and it wouldn't be the last time. What happened was the right choice, and this ain't no big thing that can't be fixed. Dr. Minnis is going to step out, and persons who would have chosen him or he is their choice, they're going to step out along with him and vote F&M regardless. Okay? Because it's time for this government to be gone, and people is going to put not parties first. They're gonna put country, economy. They're gonna look for what they're gonna choose what's best for them. And what's best for them moving forward is the right choice, which is Michael Pintard along with Dr. Minnis, because it's a place for him, like he say, choices didn't just made.
Where is the place? In your view, where is the place? What is that place?
Say again?
What is that place? Where is it?
What do you mean, place?
In your view, you said there's a place. You agree?
There's a place. He said, he spoken to Dr. Minnis.
Well, yes, that's what Pintard says. But do you agree? Where is that place? What is it?
There's the former prime minister. Where's he now? Don't they always allocate a place for you? He said he's going to look to Dr. Minnis.
What's your view? What do you think? What do you think should be his role?
His role all he's going to advise because he's a former prime minister. He was the party leader, and he's been in politics for many years. He has wisdom. He has knowledge. So from the background, he could do more good than maybe as an MP. So he's going to do well. And I'm quite sure he's well satisfied. The person who just looking in and talking, they don't know what they're saying. They're not a part of the party.
So
they
from frontline politics. So from frontline politics as a member of parliament to being placed in the background as an advisor.
He's not the first, and he will not be the last.
Oh, so
the party is moving forward, like the gentleman called before, the first caller, the lady. The party have made a choice. When we went into the last election, Dr. Minnis did not win. He was not the choice for the Bahamian people, and I don't think he still is. And I don't like to talk like that because I don't want to take away from him.
To be fair,
because he did many good.
Right, but to be fair, he was the choice. But to be fair, he was the choice for his constituency.
He is still the choice, but the choice is the FNM, which is bigger than Dr. Minnis. Do you think these people is not going to vote for the FNM because Dr. Minnis?
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, let's see. I say that if the FNM doesn't want him, he should run as an independent. Let's see. Right? Everyone says that...
starting to smell like Brandville. Starting to smell like Brandville.
You think it's going to end like that?
That sounds like...
Well, then everyone's full... Everyone's a hypocrite. I was going to say something else. Everyone's a hypocrite, right? Because what is it? You only care about the party. That's what that means. If you say he's a great MP, if he's so wonderful, well, then he should run as an independent, and you should vote for him.
Right,
but you won't, because
I was just gonna go back.
we've had a few, but the people of the country are hypocrites. They do not want change, and they only want to stick with what they know. These two very similar parties.
Because Dwight, mouth can say anything,
and it certainly does around here.
Listen, I was having a conversation with folks about the success of independent candidates, right? They were like, oh, we've had so many recently, and you can just go ahead and do it. I'm like, but name the last successful one. Name the last successful one. And I'm like, after you pass 10 years and then almost 20 years, and I'm like, yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Doesn't mean that there won't be one successful one in the future.
You know, it could be one in the future, but history shows us, just like what you said, we going by party.
Well, he's certainly never done things the way others have done it before, so he could certainly break the trend.
Oh, well, there you go, and maybe he may. We shall see.
We shall see.
Maybe he can add. Dr. Minnis, if you're listening, we'd love to hear from you.
Let's take these calls. Good morning, you're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Deandra Cartwright.
Morning.
Listen, yes, Dwight, I would do 110% this morning. These party supporters, they're delusional. They don't care for nothing but the party. They're not even looking at the fact that we have a country that's going awry. We need to save our country. It doesn't matter PLP, FNM, or whatever the case may be at this point. We got to save this country. But one thing they're not noticing when it comes to Kalani, Dr. Minnis was an excellent representative for Kalani. Yes, we know that. But Dr. Minnis really wasn't challenged by somebody else from Kalani. There is a little lady, a nice little lady, who has been living in Kalani way longer than Dr. Minnis, that is finally challenging him for that seat. See, this thing have nothing to do with no FNM or PLP, There is a little lady called Dr. Veronica MacGyver who lived there, if you all know her, up on top of that hill all of her life. It's challenging Minnis. That could be his challenge right there. Ain't got nothing to do with nobody.
Okay. Well, it's a very big constituency, so I mean, I don't know if everybody in the whole area knows everybody, but I hear you. It should be interesting.
Exactly.
But let's see how the folks work. Let's see how this really works. Everybody come forward, whether you're with a party or an independent or with a newcomer or whatever it is. Let us prove that we are not mindless drones.
Tell those FNM supporters, look right and look left when you go to the House of Assembly, because you ain't sure who could be next. I said, they got a party by June. Thanks for taking my call, right?
Okay. All right. Another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning to both of you.
Hi. Morning.
Is it swearing allegiance to the party or to the person who has risen to leadership and have this godlike character about him that you revere and probably fear? Is it the party or the person? What do you think?
Who? You mean the people who are party supporters, or?
Yeah, they see, because we always acquaint this Moses and Joshua acronym, around these persons. And maybe in the back of individuals' mind, they see these as holy individuals.
No, I don't think so. I think
it ain't
no.
that sickness, eh? Okay.
No, it is a sickness. What it is, in the last few decades, it seems to be the person who is most likely to be able to get me a contract when the party wins, and who will get me on a board or get me, I don't know, whatever position I desire. So whoever can best deliver that is the person they will swear all allegiance to.
Yeah, but right. I see. Okay, I'm trying to look at a comparative situation here. You cannot find any member or any Republican who are bold enough to tell you that Putin started the war in Ukraine. They cannot say that because they are afraid.
I don't know if that's entirely true, but that there's none of them willing to say that. There's a whole bunch willing to say whatever their leaders want, and we're just like that here in the Bahamas. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if you are. I know we are not politically tied, and I don't think we'll ever understand them. And that's most of our country. Unfortunately.
We need a system where we could just wipe the slate clean and start over again. Because I believe, though, if you were to take all the money right now, Dwight, and distribute it equally amongst every citizen, in about 20 years, those who were rich would be rich, and those who were poor would probably be poor again.
Oh, boy. Now you're starting a very deep conversation. We're going to have to... I don't know. Wow. I don't think it would be across the board. I see where you're going in a lot of that, but that's a whole other show. Whole other...
That's a series.
Yeah, definitely. More calls before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. You're on the air, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Well, it's the same old process as far as I'm concerned. I ain't got no horse in the race. You're saying over the years, your parties have asked senior members to step down because they want a younger person to run in the area. I never forget when I think you were
You know that's not what this is about.
No. Well, what I'm saying to you, listen to me. I've been in this thing long. It happens on both sides. They ask you to step aside.
That's not what this is about.
That's lead.
Okay,
and
that's not what this is about.
Yeah, but see, you're getting so personal.
Okay, you are being ridiculous. That is not what this is about. That is absolutely not what this is about. So let's not even pretend, please, for the love of God. We're not playing games here. We know that he wants to be the leader again. He wants to be the leader of the FNM, and he wants to be the Prime Minister of the Bahamas again. And that is a very uncomfortable thing for the leader of the FNM to have to deal with. And who knows what could happen in the election, how many of them would get a seat and who wouldn't get a seat, and what that would mean for his party. So that's exactly what's going on here. No need for any games. You don't have to introduce foolishness into this conversation. That's not what this is about. Come on. 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Come on, stop playing games. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Who to?
DeAndre Cartwright.
DeAndre Cartwright. Hey, Dwight and DeAndre Cartwright. Menace and a problem, Pentad and a problem, the FNM and a problem, right? Because when you really check it out, Dwight, right? The status quo is something what none of these people want to release. None of these parties want to release. Like I keep reminding you, they want to keep the status quo in place because, they are powerful under it and they make a lot of money from it, right? Saying that Menace, the problem with Pentad have or the FNM has, they think Menace is causing the problem for the FNM. But it's a double whammy. It's not just a Menace. It's also Pentad, right? Because the people didn't want to vote for Menace, and people don't want to vote for Pentad. So that's the dilemma what the FNM find themselves in my opinion.
Well, how do you know any of those things? How do you know?
Because
they both have their seats. You've done a poll. You know that both of them. You know how it goes.
Dwight, while they've been on as a campaign man, they on the ground. But at the end of the day, right? You can see this for what I said it is in a couple of weeks.
So you think Pintard is in danger of losing his seat?
Well, if they inside Grand Bamba, yes, Pintard is in danger of losing it. It is in the same kettle of fish for no politician going inside this particular general election. And Pintard ain't safe in his seat.
Okay.
He's not.
Well, very interesting.
Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Take a couple more calls before we go to the break. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. That's Miss Cartwright in there, Poppy. How you doing?
Morning.
Okay, ma'am. Dwight, you say you think it's more. What you think it's just Dr. Minnis won't be prime minister? And you think that's the only problem? That's John Pinner. You tell what he was saying.
No, I don't know who that caller is, but I mean, no, that wasn't John Pinner. But
you sound like John Pinner.
No,
Dwight say it's ridiculous. But Dwight, you think that's all it is? Like where Dr. Minnis just won't come back to be prime minister?
So you heard what that caller just said? What the caller just said is that Pintard is not safe, and if that is the case, right? Can you imagine? Well, hold on a second. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about, but let's just say this is the case. So let's say Pintard were to lose his seat and Minnis were at F&M and to win his seat. You know that means he would become the leader of the opposition, if not the prime minister, if they won, right? And I don't think they want a situation like that.
No,
this could get very, 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 very messy.
So Dwight, you ain't thinking that? You don't think they just hate one another, really?
Well, he says it's not just him. They say it's not.
Hold on.
It's
I
not,
asked you a question just now. I hear what you
I
say.
wouldn't know that.
Just him, but you answering me?
I wouldn't know that.
You answer me?
I have no idea.
That's the answer you wouldn't know it.
I have no idea.
Because he said it ain't just him. I wonder if you're saying more than them just hate him.
What? No. I was saying no.
Okay, what I was
Oh
saying
man.
Huh?
Whoa, that's not what I said. I was saying
I was saying to you, I think it's something to do with hate, and maybe it ain't just Mr. Pintard, and maybe I could be wrong, but
I don't know if it's that.
Listen, this don't make no sense politically. This a distraction. I mean, I don't know how bad the country need to be rescued, and I don't know how bad Michael Pintard and his crew really want to take over this country or be the next prime minister of the country, right? This is a distraction, like ego and hate.
A distraction from? How is it a distraction?
Say it again.
How is it a distraction?
Man, Pintard and Dr. Dwayne Sands and Shannon all them supposed to be hitting the ground right now. They ain't get no time to be fighting around with Dr. Minnis. If Dr. Minnis want to run again, let him run in that constituency. They's the leader. They could have dealt with this afterward. All right,
so I think that's what they're trying to do now.
Say it again?
That is what they look like they're trying to do now.
But they going about it. I mean, and they could have do that a little better than that. That's Dr. Minnis. That's their former leader. He had an opportunity to give Dwayne Sands the nomination. I don't know what in the world, why the last time Dr. Dwayne Sands get a nomination, he treated Michael Pintard with respect. But it seems like, let's use the word politically, these Negroes hate one another big time. Keep up the good work.
Okay. Well, we wouldn't know that. Boy. Okay.
Lots of calls, lots of text messages.
We'll take one more call, and then we got to take a break. We have to take the break. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. How are you on?
Doing well. Good morning.
Yes. Look at the scenario, Dwight. Pintard, Sands, and Cartwright was hired by Dr. Minnis, right? Now, Pintard, Sands, and Cartwright is now actually firing Dr. Minnis from not being able to be nominated for a seat. At the end of the day, the standard bearer for the PLP in the last election lost by 520 votes. This time around, the votes will be split 4 ways if Dr. Minnis is going to run independence. How is it that Dr. Minnis will retain that seat or any other candidate than the PLP will win that seat? Because if the standard bearer for the PLP in the last election only lost by 520 votes, he stands a better chance of winning that seat if the vote is going to be split 4 ways. Have a nice day, guys.
Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot compared to how some other people. I mean, people were in by
double digits,
right? So I don't think that's how it works. But I hear you. Sure. Might as well squeeze this in. Good morning, caller on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? No, okay. And we kind of know you're a Legion's caller, so I mean that's your dream come true, right? You should be.
Oh,
you
my
sh-
gosh.
they must be celebrating on Farrington Road. I don't know. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Special day to you both.
Good
Special
morning.
morning to you, my good Paisin, Miss Cartwright.
Good morning.
Yes, thank you. I want to commend the politicians in the press conference yesterday for conducting the business the way they intended to, even though some hard balls were thrown in the case of this will not get his teeth. No, it doesn't sound nice because since he had won in 2007. However, the reason given that he has not been a team player and shown sufficient respect to the policies of the leadership. So, and I like the way they also avoided dealing with any other matter that was not on their agenda for the time. So they were very skillful politicians. As a result, as to what will play out in the very end, when the general election comes, I don't know. So that would be another question to be answered.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. All right, let's take the break. When we come back, we're going to take more of your calls, and we've got a whole lot of your text messages to get to. This is Morning Blend on a Monday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're going to be back after this.
It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day. It's the start
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Reminding you that with RBC, reaching your goals happens here. All right, so in your real-time traffic right now on this Monday morning, what we're seeing on the streets in New Providence, we've got the usual hot spots for you, like Milo Butler Highway. Heavy traffic for you from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. In the northbound lanes, traffic backed up a bit on Tonic Williams Darling Highway westbound towards that roundabout. And eastbound to Bahamas Games Boulevard, you can be seeing that there. Slow-moving traffic north of that into New Providence Highway as you approach the six-legged roundabout northbound. And seeing some building traffic there. Saunders Beach at West Bay Street, we've got slow-moving traffic as you approach the roundabout with New Providence Highway, eastbound. Over on Glasson Road, things are moving for you, but slowly, north of Fire Trail, all the way up to Munnings Road, where it gets heavier, much heavier, on the way to John F. Kennedy Drive and Bahamar Boulevard. Then we've got Blue Hill Road. We've got some heavy traffic for you near St. Vincent Road and especially near Carmichael and Soldier Road if you're heading northbound, all the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. And East Street, north and south of the Soldier Road intersection, very slow-moving northbound traffic for you this morning. Robinson Road, some of the stories, slow-moving westbound traffic between Soldier and Marathon Road, and pockets along Eastern Road near Fox Hill and west of Fox Hill on the way to Johnson Road. That's your first look at traffic this morning. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. Time for another check of your weather, brought to you by Star General. We've got high-pressure ridging that continues to shift eastwards while supporting moderate southeasterly and southerly winds over the country through tonight. But changes are coming. By tomorrow, an active cold front is going to slide off the east coast of central Florida across the northern Bahamas. By late afternoon, we're going to be seeing the effects of this. Severe weather conditions, such as heavy showers, possible strong thunderstorms, and the potential for flooding and even hail, possible through the middle of the week into the weekend. A low is going to form along this front and interact with tropical moisture, keeping the window for possible shower and thunderstorm activity open for the next few days. Right now, there is a moderate risk for rip currents for all areas of the southeast Bahamas and Atlantic waters of the central Bahamas, and a marginal risk for rip currents along Atlantic waters for the northern islands. But today should be a relatively peaceful day. We are looking at partly sunny conditions, only about a 10% chance of showers. Changes, as we said, are coming. Highs today around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. Tomorrow, though, Tuesday, look for partly cloudy to cloudy conditions, a 20 to 40% chance of scattered showers with a 10% to 20% chance of isolated thunderstorms across the northern and northwest Bahamas, 10% chance of isolated showers elsewhere. That's as that front moves through. By Wednesday, variably cloudy across the northern and northwest Bahamas, but partly sunny elsewhere, a 40 to 60% chance of scattered showers and a 20 to 30% chance of thunderstorms, mainly across the northern and central Bahamas. 20 to 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms for the southeastern islands. By Thursday, 20 to 30% chance of showers. And Friday, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, partly cloudy at night. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Star General. Insurance made simple.
Barry, you're a winner! Give me a ja. Give me a Barry.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. Can you buy me a drink from the canteen?
Sure, looks like the canteen uses first pay from CIBC Caribbean. Ready, Dad?
Give me a first. Give me a pay.
You like that, Jabari?
For quick transfer with just an email, mobile number, or QR code, use First Pay from CIBC Caribbean. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com/ways to bank for more information.
Pinda has a new line, the Sky series of porcelain. It comes in 4 colors: Sky Noir, Sky Gris, Sky Glance, and this one, Sky Azure. As the name suggests, you would think it has a strong blue component, but the blue is kind of like just a hint in the overall coloring of the porcelain. The blue feature runs more or less the center of the tile, and that's surrounded by light shades of gray. The Sky Azure, like the others in the series, needs to be seen to be appreciated. Stop by Pinda Tile and have a look at Sky Azure, one of the 4 in the Sky series.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology: Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
This April, Dunkin' is spreading awareness and support for autism awareness. Did you know that autism affects 1 in 54 children? It is so important to show our support, and you can show your support by grabbing a signature blue donut from any Dunkin' location during April. Join us in raising awareness and support for REACH and the Seahorse Institute. Dunkin', fueling communities 1 blue donut at a time. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Who
boys! So glad you made it to Dad's birthday dinner.
Thanks, Mom. This gift is from me. And me too? No way. Fine.
Hi, boys. Who's messaging? Oh, it's a deposit from CIBC Caribbean First Pay from Ricardo. Son, you're so thoughtful.
He sure is. For quick transfer with just an email, mobile number, or QR code, use First Pay from CIBC Caribbean. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com/ways to bank for more information.
Your ambition deserves the right foundation. Build it with the Sagicor Caville School of Business and Management, University of the West Indies Caville campus. At SCHSBM, we push past limits to unlock success. Whether you are starting with an undergraduate degree or advancing with postgraduate studies, your journey begins with a commitment to continuous growth and development. Apply now and redefine what is possible. Visit us at caville.uwi.edu/SCHSBM to find the right program for you. You're one application away from success.
Call the fire engine, run, tell them come quick. I can feel my temperature rising, never heard we can creep like this. Lord, all over my body, from my head straight down to my feet. I shall beat this pint on the good drum and the solo, the rig so sweet. Oh, I went to Cat Island to the musical festival. I was always into reggae and rap, never checked for the rig and scream.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with DeAndre Cartwright. Let's see if we can get this call in really quickly. Then we want to get to your text messages. We've been talking about the F&M, saying they're not going to run Hubert Minnis on their ticket in the next general election. You will be getting a nomination from them, getting a reaction to that. Good morning, caller. What say you on this?
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
How you guys doing this morning?
Doing well.
Listen, man. I've been trying to figure out in the last 3 years what was Dr. Minnis' endgame and all this. I mean, there's no example of a former leader still sitting as the MP, with hopes of, running again. We had, Perry Christie, but he was still the leader of the opposition. I don't see where you would then have the highest office in the land, and you say you want to run again. What's your end game? Because you're going to run again to be an MP? You already was prime minister? The only thing I can see you trying to be leader of the F&M. That's your end game. You never, in 3 years, I've never heard it. Maybe you could correct me.
I mean, it was a slightly different situation with Ingram. Slightly different. But I get your point.
What I mean is Ingram, when he resigned, he didn't sit in there under Tommy Turnquest.
Well, Turnquest didn't win his seat. So he didn't.
What I'm saying is, he resigned and we had a leadership. We had a new leadership. He came back,
But he was still an MP, though. He was still an MP.
Mm-hmm. Right. But he resigned his seat, right?
No.
MP in House. Yeah, he was MP in House.
Yeah,
right?
He was an MP, right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is, and then when he lost again, he resigned. But all I'm saying is...
Well, when the party lost, yes. Mm-hmm.
What is your end game? What's your end game?
Mm-hmm.
You either want to be leader, you ain't going to be a cabinet minister. And then in the 3 years, you never came and say, hey, I support Michael Pintard as the leader. He never came out. He never supported the leadership. So what do we expect from a Michael Pintard? The only thing we're hearing lately is this unity issue, this issue. They have a leadership struggle. We keep hearing this. So people, it's being covered up that we can't even hear a message from Michael Pintard because the only thing people thinking about is Hubert Minnis and this separation and with powers in there for them. Now, I think it's ready to separate, and now Mr. Pintard can focus on trying to get the F&M on track to vie for the next administration or whatever. He can do it with this type of attention at this party at this time.
Very interesting. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. All right, so we are going to go to the news. When we come back, we'll get to your text messages. There's a lot here. There's a lot to get through. We'll get through them in just a bit. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. A whole lot more to come.
Lord, all over my body, from my head straight down to my feet. Ancient beat days, pint on the good drum and the soul, Lord, the ring so sweet. Oh, by later that evening, all I drink had me feeling fine. And when I reached the Rican Square Fest, but Lord, I wanted to prance. Oh, the music was jamming, Lord, it put me into a trance. And everybody was looking at me as I made up my own new dance. Oh, call the fire engine. Run, tell 'em come quick. I could feel my temperature rising. Never heard Rican scream like this. Lord, all over my body, from my head straight down to my feet. Ancient beat days, bank on the good drum and the soul, Lord, the beat so sweet.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
Broke up the first time, saying this is it, I've had enough. Cause like we hadn't seen each other in a month. When you said you needed space, what? Then you come around again and say, baby, I miss you and I swear I'm gonna change. Trust me, remember how that lasted for a day? I say I hate you, we break up, you call me, I love you. Ooh, 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 we called it off again last night, but
Nobody said that at the press conference, but you do get the feeling that's what's happening. No? Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, and DeAndre Cartwright. We're getting a reaction to the FNM saying that they're not going to run Minnis again for Killarney at the next general election, and getting your response to it so far. So we got a lot of your text messages. Let's get through those before we go back to the calls. We had a lot of calls this morning, but let's go to the text line. This person says here, the FNM was divided before the 2017 general election, but came back and won by the biggest margin ever. The PLP toed a massive cut skin. All of the PLP opposition couldn't fit in a Nissan March. All right, so I guess they're saying don't watch nothing. Okay. This person says here, why do people act brand new? What was more dividing than the Loretta Butler fiasco? Wasn't the PLP in shambles when they only won 4 seats? They come together. Yeah. Let's get another text. This person says here, it's time for the old dinosaurs to retire, and the competent authority is not what any Bahamian government needs. I think they're trying to say more of the Gestapo currently ruling, huh? But what evidence do we have that Pintard is a good leader? What has he exhibited other than theatrics? Well, we say that every time about every opposition leader, it seems, right? Or at least the first time they're opposition leader, we say that. We said that about the current prime minister and the previous prime minister and the one before. All right, this person says here, what is playing out nationally is that our FNM party's leadership is less concerned about good representation in the constituency and more concerned with the leadership circle having its way. Every FNM candidate must, I don't think this is what you meant to say, must fool the constituents to vote for them, really, to represent them. But truth is, at the table, we know there's an agenda to follow. Okay. Another person says here, Bahamians are incapable and really do not change. The ideas I want for this country, separation of the branches of government, local government, and the Bahamas becoming a federal state. The Bahamians don't want this change. I hear you. I feel the same way. This texter says here, it was a slap in the face to constituents. It would have been wiser to let Dr. Minnis contest in Killarney, where he has been successful since 2012, Pintard should have considered the strategy more carefully. It appears to reflect a retaliatory approach. This is the first instance of a former prime minister being denied participation. Okay. This person says here, I live in Killarney. I'm not voting FNM or PLP. I'm voting COI. I have supported Dr. Minnis always. Okay, so what if Dr. Minnis runs as an independent? What would you do? Would you not vote for him? What would you do? I'd love to hear what you'd say to that. Why is that? I'm not hearing that often, DeAndre. Are you hearing people say that? Is that an option? You're not going to consider him if he runs as an independent? Let's get your mic. Let's get your mic up there. Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on the person, the constituency, and whatnot. But again, people are emotional, Dwight. People are emotional.
What? What does that mean? If the person you love so much, the candidate who's representing for all these years, is no longer tied to this party but decides to run independently, what does that mean to you? Do you feel that he cannot be a great MP for you if he's independent?
Okay, let's think about this objectively, right? How's that worked out in the past?
Y'all keep talking about this.
Again, if we look at Loretta Butler, I think. So she was... okay, so we're not...
I mean, I don't understand. Well...
Okay, I try to be nice.
No, there's
let me not be
that's
nice.
not a good example.
Let me not be nice then. Okay, great. That's just it. Unfortunately, our people do not vote.
Well,
generally
whose
speaking,
problem is that? If you think he's a good candidate and he is no longer representing that party, and you like him, and he's
because
there
they're
again,
going to go back to the party.
well, then y'all are ridiculous.
That's
simple
what this
as
boils
that.
down to.
As simple
there have
as
been
that.
several instances, including in recent history, where persons who were standard bearers for their parties no longer ran inside their constituencies under that party's banner, and they attempted to go as independent, and they were not voted in. Some of them barely got votes.
Well,
despite persons saying that, you know, they did great jobs,
we
et
can
cetera,
stop
et cetera.
wasting time. They got a whole lot of animals in the Humane Society. Let them run on the ticket for the parties, and we could really, really, really do.
Well, I mean, some people actually say you could run a cat. In
yeah,
certain
obviously you could. So you've got no one to blame but yourselves.
Oh my gosh.
No one to blame but yourselves.
So you're saying
if he
there's no
runs
hope.
as an independent, vote for the man. Clown.
Welcome to the circus, Dwight.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and to you too, Deandra.
Morning.
Listen, both of you have excellent points. I just wanted to give my 5 cents. I ain't gonna talk long. Listen, I'm proud of what the leader of the opposition did. Out with the old, in with the new. I know D doesn't have any. He doesn't proven anything other than, you know. I think when you read the text, but he hasn't shown any leadership qualities. Listen, man, you got to start from somewhere. And I think people drink too much red and blue Kool-Aid. They drink too much. If you love Dr. Minnis so much, I listen to your point. If he ran as independent, you ain't gonna vote for him. I tell you, these people them are hooked on party politics, which is ridiculous, and we'll never move forward.
Never.
We'll never move forward as a country and as a people when we get rid of this party politics foolishness, all these rallies and these MPs not declaring what they're worth and this and that and that and this. We'll always get the same old. Anyway, y'all have a good day.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right. One more call, and we've got a few more text messages to get through. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Good morning to your co-host, that's
Morning.
Deandra.
Yes, it's me. How you doing?
Oh, good morning, lady. Yes, what I see with what you guys are saying is that Dr. Minnis is loved, and the persons who probably love him the most is not even in his constituency. So it's not for not voting for him. It's the fact that they can't vote for him because they're not in his constituency. Yes, a lot of persons in his constituency loves him, but it's not enough, probably as an independent, to get him re-elected. That's his problem.
Well, I mean, how would we know? Let's see. Let's see.
No, but the persons who are making the most noise for him are not in his constituency. Some of them I know they're not in his constituency.
Well, they have time. They can move there.
Because if you notice, the persons in his constituency are, for the majority part, quiet. Now, they love him because they voted him back in, even though the country voted him out as prime minister. But, you know, so I don't think it may be enough to say, okay, let him run again as an independent. He don't have enough to carry. He barely had enough to carry him through the last election.
My goodness. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So I'm trying to get to the point that we've been saying that this system that we've adopted is not working for us, right? Mm-hmm. Because people are so tied to party politics, we keep voting in people, and we don't care who they are and what they stand for. We don't even know them. But because they're wearing the right shirt color, they win. And it has not served us well. There are tons of independent candidates who would have been much better representatives. But because they weren't affiliated with the party, they don't get any votes. And this is madness. But we expect change. Mm-hmm. You're not going to see the change if you continue to do this nonsense. You're not going to do it. And we need to get away from the system that the party, the person that you vote for determines which party wins the government and who becomes the prime minister. Right? Yeah, that might work for the UK, but this is very dangerous, very dangerous. And you've got 50 years you can look back over and see how well that has served this country. Anyway, we'll get to the calls in just a bit. Let me get through these messages. This person says here, Bahamians are real conks fighting for these two lousy parties. Mm-hmm. Bahamians hopefully soon want better. These two parties only want to enrich themselves. Well, and kick us until election time. Old age pension still $50 per month. What are you talking about there? What are you saying? But we're doing road works for $183 million. Conks. Exaggerating a bit, but I hear you. Okay. This person's, oh boy. They're calling some names here. Oh, no. They say somebody who mentioned the candidate earlier. They said the candidate is a joke. It is okay. I'm not going to read that. That's hurtful. But anyway, let's be real, please. Killarney is to the FNM what Engliston is to the PLP. It doesn't matter who the FNM puts in Killarney, they will win. I don't blame the FNM for telling Minnis to step aside. He has the same attitude as Trump. If I can't have it, I will burn everything down, so you can't have it either. That is not leadership. The COI candidate for Marco City admits that he has little chance of getting any votes, and he is not sourced. He is waiting for what's happening here? The PLP can't find a candidate to challenge in Marco City. Who are you? Why are you saying this? Is this anyway? Sure. Okay. This person says here, if anyone pretends to not understand why Pintard, the current leader of the FNM, is not running Dr. Minnis, Dr. Minnis has made it clear of what he wants, and that is to lead the party. Why would you keep a player on a team that is undermining the coach daily? The people of the Bahamas have rejected Dr. Minnis as leader of the FNM, and because he refuses to support Pintard should not run him. I think most of us get that. Some people are being delusional. Dr. Minnis does not take part as FNM MP. He does not go to meetings. He actually serves as an independent candidate now, which is what he should run as. No one in this country wants Minnis to be leader or prime minister again, including you. You can't speak for me. How dare you?
They know you, Dwight. Who's this?
They don't know me. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Are you there? No, call us back. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and toll free 242-300-5720. This person says here, Dwight, if Minnis did agree with this unity, couldn't that have been shown yesterday by having Minnis at the press conference to show support? Well, he doesn't agree, and they said that. They said that. It's clear that he doesn't, and he's not hiding that. Dwayne Sands said on a show long ago that anyone who didn't do the candidate's class wasn't running, and Minnis didn't do the class. What is that telling us? Is that this would make something's missing here. Pintard. Oh boy, words all over the place here, but I think I get what you're saying. Okay. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again.
Hi.
Mr. Strawn.
Hi, good morning.
You remind me of these PLBs now. How you get all this love in your heart from Mr. Minnis?
Is that what you heard? I have love in my heart for almost everyone. But people really hear what they want to hear.
Apparently so.
Oh, boy. Okay. That's hilarious. That's almost upsetting me now. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your guests. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
That's good. I can't really hear you that well, but I will try my best.
Okay, we can hear you, though.
I am from the Minnesota constituency.
Now, why are you calling it that? Do you mean Killarney?
Yes, I am from Killarney
Okay.
constituency, and I've been there for many years. And yes, if he does go independent, I will be voting for him because you know why? Dr. Minnis has been there for many years. When they were in power, he was consistent in the constituency, having monthly meetings, checking about all in the different areas to see what's going on, checking in with the people, consistently doing that for years. And that is commendable. Okay? There's not, you can't say that for most of these MPs around. Yeah. And he's been doing it whether he was in power, the FNM was in power, or whether the FNM has been out of power. All right? So, yes, I will be voting for him if he goes independent. And I think that Pintard, those made a really bad decision because the thing is, at this kind of time, you would want everybody in your corner. Yes, there may be some ruffling of feathers in there with the egos, and I think it has to be an ego problem and insecurity issues. But the thing is, you are a leader. And I know for a fact that Dr. Minnis, he said it himself that he has been there to support him. But I think it really is an insecurity issue where you do feel that someday he may want to go for leadership again. But guess what? He's not the only person who would probably want to aspire to that. There are others in there who would want to do the same thing, who just hasn't said anything else to you. You know, and so these types of things, I mean, come on. And that's one thing I could say about the PLP. The PLP don't throw their stuff out there like that. They try to work on that. Because why would you take somebody who has, yes, he may be older, and that's a problem that I have with our society as well. We tend to throw our elderly or our persons who are getting older and throw them discard them as if they have nothing else to offer. And that is wrong because he has been there. He has the experience. There's so many ways, but there are ways that you do things. Okay? There are ways that you do things in order for you to make people feel as if they are welcome and they are still a part.
Yeah.
You cannot just discard me, say, get out. No, because I disagree with you. And then tomorrow say, but I have this for you to do. You can't do that. There are ways to do things. And so, I wish them well.
Yeah.
But
Let me ask you,
right now.
do you think, what's the mood on the ground? Are you thinking other people will do the same, vote for him if he runs as an independent?
I can tell you personally, the Kalani constituency, the executives there, we are for Dr. Minnis 100%. We told that to Pintard in a meeting as well, that we are 100% behind him. This, and I know on the ground there are, people in Gambia, people in Mount Pleasant, a lot of them. Now, you're not going to have everybody be on the same page, of course, because, people will have things to say, but I know for sure that he has been doing a really good job there. And like I said, consistently, monthly, you don't find that.
Okay.
Trying to get in touch with your persons, you're having meetings every month at the NPCC to engage them and to see what's going on. You don't find that. So, if that's what they don't want, then, by all means, get rid of him. But he's been doing a really good job.
Okay.
And I think that he still has a lot more to offer. And I think the fight for leadership or whatever, I think that's just an insecure issue by Mr. Pintard.
Interesting stuff. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you for calling in. All right, let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Really quickly.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan. Good morning, DeAndre.
Hi.
Yeah, I have a sister and a husband. They live in Killarney, and I know she voted after them all her life, but I think she's about to diverge. But listen, the situation with me, with Dr. Minnis and me, I don't know if it's personal, but I follow the science. I'm well versed in the science, and I'm looking retrospectively back at the pandemic, and so it is said that there will be no mercy for the merciless. And so he showed the people no mercy, because when you look at pandemic protocols, take for instance London, that they follow, right? London, America. People were allowed, because of the science, to exercise and go out as a couple and go out in isolation. But he was so extreme, they didn't even, he had his own personal protocol in which people were not even allowed to come out. And so,
All right. Are you in Killarney?
Dwight, what I'm saying is, there wasn't any science behind having people stay at home and couples not being able to come out and exercise. There was no science with that. He actually, they told him.
I hear you. We don't have to relive this over, but I hear you. Well, if you're in Killarney, use that. Remember that we're in the booth, I guess. I mean, okay, that's a lot to have to. You'll never forgive him for that. Wow. Okay, caller, you got the final word on this. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning. Hi, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Deandra, Ciala Johnson.
Hi.
Dwight, you talk about the system change that is needed, but the problem is we have yet to embrace the full utilization of the system that has been given to us, and that's where part of the problem is. And this is why we always have these conversations concerning an MP out of context of governance in the Bahamas. And the question is, yes, they get $150,000 a year. But whose responsibility it is for the development of a constituency? Is it the MP or is it government? Government is responsible for the development of the Bahamas. So any lack in Killarney or any other constituency is at the foot of government. What is it that Dr. Minnis can provide to Killarney through agitation that he could not do, having the complete intimacy of the structure and how things run in the country? Having served as prime minister, is he going to advocate that he needs more than $150,000? Is he going to be spending his own personal money to pave the roads and do what is necessary for infrastructurally within Killarney? I mean, and so yeah. Hello.
Wait, why are you asking? What's the point you're trying to make
because
here?
the problem is that it seems as if to be devoid of or adopted an illusion of how our country runs. We make decisions. And we should do analysis on the way things is, not the way we want it to be. The end result is what we anticipate getting it to be. So this concept that Dr. Minnis will represent Killarney differently. The question, Dwight, and you as local government would know, what power does an independent have in the House of Assembly except for advocacy for laws and policies? So the question is, ask yourself, is Dr. Minnis incapable of having served as a former prime minister, of doing this outside of the House of Assembly without people even saying the bias of a political party if he was to do it? His credibility comes from standing up on the position that he once held, not from the position of MP. And so the question then has to be, what is his motive, what is his objective? For Dr. Minnis then now move of people saying he has a right to serve things. The question is, Dr. Minnis have had 3.5 years to tell us what he would have done differently and what he wanted to do that he did not do in the 4.5 years we give him.
Okay.
And so the question, we have to say this thing about independent everything. Independents only have the power of advocacy for in the House of Assembly for legislative laws.
Well, that's a lot.
etc.
That's a lot. I mean, that's. Oh, Seattle. That was kind of. Oh boy. As much as the opposition MPs would, right? Don't you're gonna diminish that, really? That's really unfortunate. This is rough. We're stuck, folks. We are very stuck, and I don't know how we're gonna get out of this. We got to take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Like ever.
Spring is in the air, and so are the rewards. The Water and Sewage Corporation wants to thank you for staying on top of your bills. When you pay your bill in full, you'll be entered for a chance to win one of 3 Easter baskets filled with exciting surprises. Pay in full before your due date. Complete the entry form, and you'll be entered to win. Visit our social media pages for details. Hop to it and win with the Water and Sewage Corporation. Hurry! Offer ends April 17th.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves. Yes, real talk. I'm not just saying this to impress myself. We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I want to this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams Bahamas, and you'll surely find colour in every day.
Got your final look at weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's happening. We have high pressure that continues to shift eastwards while supporting moderate southerly winds over the country. That will continue through tonight. But by tomorrow, an active cold front is going to slide off the east coast of central Florida and across the northern Bahamas by late Tuesday afternoon. We're expecting severe weather conditions such as heavy showers, possibly strong thunderstorms, even the potential for flooding and hail through the middle of the week with this system. A low will form along the front and interact with moisture, keeping the window for possible shower and thunderstorm activity open into the weekend. There is a moderate risk of rip currents for all areas of the southeast Bahamas and the Atlantic waters of the central Bahamas, and a marginal risk for rip currents on Atlantic waters for the rest of the country. Today should be relatively pleasant, though. Partly sunny, only about a 10% chance of isolated showers. Highs around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, the changes will come. Tuesday, partly cloudy to cloudy, a 20 to 40% chance of scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms for the northern and northwest Bahamas. By Wednesday, variably cloudy across the northern and northwest islands, partly sunny elsewhere. Rain chances go up significantly to about 40 to 60% for the northern, northwest, and central Bahamas. And by Thursday, variably cloudy, still about a 20 to 30% chance of showers, but mainly for the central and southeast Bahamas. And Friday, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, partly cloudy at night. That's your morning blend weather check. Weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Dull walls bring you down. Well, Sherwin-Williams has the cure. Don't have your place looking toe up. Get that glow up with the superior quality of Sherwin-Williams Paints. And your final look at traffic for the morning brought to you by RBC. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. We've got a heavy traffic still on Milo Butler Highway, but it is looking better now just north of Fire Trails, where you can see that slow-moving traffic alongside Harold Pond all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway in the northbound lanes. Still slow moving for you as you get on New Providence Highway near the six-legged route. Alternate routes like Gladstone Road looking much better for you this morning. Munnings Road is just where you're going to see that heavy traffic. And from there, northbound to JFK Drive, Bahamar Boulevard. Blue Hill Road still busy, though north of Soldier Road especially. Independence Drive is where you're going to see major issues, both directions, east and westbound, between the roundabouts at Blue Hill and East Street. East Street also looking busy for you north and south of the Soldier Road intersection if you're heading northbound at this hour. Then we've got Robinson Road. You're basically parked between Prince Charles and Marathon Road if you're heading westbound. And still some slow-moving traffic on Eastern Road just east of Fox Hill to about Johnson Road, Bernard Road, and Prince Charles at the major intersections. Going to be seeing some slow-moving traffic. Wolf Road between Mackey and East Street. Also pockets there both directions. And East Street north of that intersection with Wolf Road heading into downtown. You're seeing lots of slow-moving northbound traffic at this hour. West Bay Street east of Arawak Heat, not a pleasant place to be. Slow-moving eastbound traffic into downtown, especially near Nassau Street. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright. Changing gears now, folks. Model UN Bahamas, Model United Nations, an exciting program. We're going to find out about it and meet two of the winners. We're going to find out if that's the right term to use as well, of this year's Model UN event. And joining us, we're very pleased to welcome advisor Nellie Curry-Bailey and student delegates Jem Walker and Cole Pinder. And I know I have to get this in there, from St. Augustine's College, right? I've got to get that in there. Good morning. Great to have you with us, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here this morning.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jem and Cole.
Good morning as well. Thank you for having us here today, and we're excited to talk about the Model United Nation debate.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so let's begin with Nellie Curry-Bailey, and then you can tell us about another person in here who we should be talking to as a guest and not just a co-host, I guess.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am really happy to be here with these students who have represented the school so well. I am also grateful for the opportunity to share with everyone what the program has meant for us. It's been an intense program, an intense 8 weeks. And these students, I can tell you, they are very, very capable students. And I trusted when they were referred to me by, I must mention, Mrs. Knight. She mentioned those two students' names, and I said, yes. We'll get them involved, and they have not disappointed.
Okay. All right, so you got to take us back a little bit. Explain to us exactly what Model UN is all about.
Okay, now I believe Miss Cartwright is more...
Deandra Cartwright. Yeah, Deandra
Yes.
Cartwright, co-host. What is your role in all of this, and what can you tell us about this?
Okay, cool beans. So Model United Nations Bahamas is a joint partnership that has been taking place between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas. So that's all of the Rotary Clubs here on New Providence, including those on Abaco and Eleuthera as well, for, like I said, well over 30 years. It has not happened since the pandemic. So this year's edition would have been the first time in over 5 years, about 5 years' time. What it is the opportunity for students from schools around the country. This year we only had New Providence schools. Unfortunately, we're hoping to change that next year. But the students get the opportunity to learn about countries to which they've been assigned from the perspective of junior diplomats, meaning that they are doing the research over the span of the training period, and this year was 2 months, plus some change, to understand why policy positions are made, the background, the historical relationships between these countries and their presence on the world stage, everything from geography to economics to trading partners to the cultural states of those countries who act like those countries within a fora similar to the United Nations. This is why we call it Model United Nations. They would have been assigned a particular theme to follow and research, and this year was artificial intelligence and sustainability. Particularly, how do we use artificial intelligence to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals? It culminated in a one-day event that was held in 2 weeks ago at this point. It just seems like yesterday. I feel like just yesterday, where they came together and they negotiated a draft resolution based on artificial intelligence and sustainability. And for those who may not know what a United Nations resolution is, essentially it's soft law. It's what our country does at the UN and how does it affect us. And these students were able to negotiate that. In fact, this year's cohort of students actually surpassed every other group of students I've ever had, because they took over my training program to say that they wanted more time to negotiate. And they did it in the way that actual diplomats do it. And that's never been done before. They were commended by some of the most senior persons in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for how they conducted themselves. Now, I should also mention that this is an opportunity for these students to have access to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as potentially maybe a job opportunity eventually, because no other program does it like this. This is the most unique way that students get to understand more about what does it mean to be a diplomat.
Okay.
They also had the opportunity to craft national statements from the perspective of their member state, and they would have to respond to concerns and queries from other member states based off of that. So it's not the average debate competition at all.
Wow.
And again, as their advisor said, it's very intense.
Okay, tons of questions for Jem Walker and Cole Pinder. All right, so who decided, which country did you represent, and who got to decide that?
We represented the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and I believe it was chosen by the organizers of the program.
Okay, so they assigned that to you all.
Yes,
All right. So tell us about why you wanted to do this. What made you both decide to enter this, and about the process? Jem, you want to go? And just tilt that mic down a little bit for you.
Okay, so originally, I wasn't too sure exactly what Model UN was all about. And so when Miss Bailey would have approached me and asked if I wanted to participate in it, I was a little skeptical, but I'm very happy that I decided to join, because it has been an amazing experience getting to understand what our country does on that international level, how they negotiate with the other countries, what is being done at those meetings. It's been an amazing experience, and I'm so happy that Miss Bailey would have asked me to join.
Yeah. What grade are you in, and how old are you?
I'm in grade 10, and I'm 16 years old.
Okay, wonderful. Cole, what about you?
I'm also in grade 10, and I'm 15 years old.
And what made you decide to do this?
Probably the same reasons as Jem. When Miss Bailey approached me, I also didn't know really what it was, but I am glad it really opened my eyes to the world of foreign policy and opened it as something I might want to get into in the future.
Yeah. So how did you prep for this? I mean, what did you do? Did you watch UN sessions, or give us an idea of the process?
Like Miss Cartwright said, 8 weeks of training every Thursday. To me, it felt like more than 8 weeks. But our day, we're going over tons of resources, policy, stuff like that. We watch, just how you said, we watch videos and we read articles and various stuff like that just to keep ourselves informed and to go in with knowledge throughout the competition.
Wow. What did you learn the most from this, Jem?
I got the opportunity to, I guess, learn about all of the other countries because I feel like I've been so focused on only the Bahamas, and this has really opened my mind to understanding what the other countries are like, where they stand on certain policies, and where they stand on artificial intelligence and sustainable development.
Yeah, let's talk about that theme, AI. We talk about it a lot on the show. So what was your stance on it, and what did you present?
Well, the United Kingdom, us reflecting their stance, they were very open-minded in AI. They didn't see it as someone as an enemy. They were very open to it in achieving goals such as climate change, no poverty. So we reflected that in our, like Ms. Cartwright said, our resolution and our opening statements.
So you had to do lots of research on the views of the folks from the UK.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, all right. So based on what you learned, how should the Bahamas look at AI going forward? Jem?
I feel like it would definitely be a big help as that it can provide. I saw that they had ways to help, like Cole said, combat climate change. They also able to help in the medical field. And I feel as though we could see it as more of a benefit to help us predict natural disasters in this country's development.
So you all are not scared. You're not afraid that there'll be no jobs for you when you get older, thanks to AI, because that's how I feel. But that's just me, right? Yeah. All right. So what happens next now that you've won? And tell us about who you beat. Some of the other schools who are taking part in this.
Well, I want to say hats off to our competitors because they did a really good job as well. Queen's College, they represented the Republic of Namibia. Genesis, who represented Haiti. Let me see if I remember. Aquinas, they represented the United States. And CV Bethel, they represented Cuba, I believe. Sedan, they represented China. And us being the winners, I believe that we now get the opportunity to go with the Prime Minister in September to the United Nations, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
That is very cool.
They're going to be a part of the official delegation of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to the high-level week at the United Nations, which is the biggest meeting of the UN. This is when you have thousands of persons. And if my numbers are still correct, the second largest meeting has about 14,000 persons in one place. This one will have almost 20,000 persons moving around at the same time. And this is where the world leaders are there. So they also have the opportunity to be exposed to other world's leaders in addition to ours. They will be on the floor of the United Nations General Assembly Hall while the leader of our country delivers the national statement, which sets the tone for the policies that the Bahamas wishes to achieve on an international level.
That is very exciting. Why didn't they have this when I was in school? Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. In September.
In September, and we really must again commend the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for continuing to be a technical partner with the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas to ensure that these students have that opportunity. They will also be hosted usually to a luncheon, a one-on-one luncheon with the Minister of Foreign Affairs while they're over there, as well as any other interested members of the delegation. And of course, Rotary Bahamas would like to thank all of the sponsors who would have helped provide for this, and we are looking for more when it comes to next year's iteration because we want to have our Family Island schools participating, and we thank in advance the Ministries of Education and Youth for committing to us that they will help sponsor this program so we can ensure representation from our Family Islands because the cost of things has gone up.
Absolutely.
But we did. I want to say also too, though, we did have Family Island schools, some of them participating in the virtual trainings.
Okay.
So we had folks from Morris Island over on Abaco, as well as a few others tuning in every so often. We want to also acknowledge R.M. Bailey, who would have did their best despite adversity to try and keep up with the program. And so we want more public schools to really get on board. I personally would have written to every school in this country in June of last year and followed up in writing as well as verbally. But unfortunately, I found is that the culture, we wait until last minute. And so this year, we're just putting it out there. You're going to get a letter before the end of the school year. Let us know if your school is interested in participating so we can prepare to consider your application. And for those who would like to sponsor the program, please reach out to the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas. Model United Nations is on Facebook. You can reach out to me, Deandra Cartwright. I'm on social media, and you know how to reach me here at Guardian. But we want to have the support to ensure that our students get this opportunity. As you've heard from Cole and Jem, they learn things about other countries that they did not know before.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so Cole, you said you might now consider a future in the diplomat services in foreign affairs. Let's talk more about that, and Jem will get to you about that as well.
During the preparation, like how I said, it really opened my mind. I found foreign policy to be something really interesting. You know, besides all this traveling, obviously, to different countries, you really immerse yourselves into different cultures and understand different policies. And I found that to be very interesting and something worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jem, your mom is messaging me. She's always on the show telling me, this is my daughter. Like, congratulations to Rochelle. But yeah, Jem, tell us about you. You're thinking about this as well?
So definitely, I told Miss Bailey and my mom, I said, my mind has always been going into the medical field and then later retiring as like a teacher. But I feel like being a part of this experience has really opened my mind to the world of diplomacy. And so she was like, Jem, I don't know what you can do. You have to pick one of the two. But and then I also saw some of the ladies, they spoke so passionately about their cause and why they do it, especially about climate change. I can't remember her name, but that really inspired me and that really opened my eyes.
Wow, wonderful. And Ms. Bailey must be very proud.
Yes, I am, and I watched their fascination with the officers of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I can tell that it was a really good experience for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also happy to represent the school and that the school has won before. In fact, on the last run of Model United Nations in 2019, we had two very capable students as well, Trent Thompson and Amani Stewart, and they represented us very well.
Wow.
So this for us is an ongoing association now. And in fact, next year, our students they will be the secretariat.
So they will be the ones running the competition.
Okay.
Yeah. We want to also give a shout out to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, to the National Youth Ambassadors Corps, because we had several of those youth ambassadors serving as a secretary, because obviously the last winners would now be in college or done with college, but this is high school and young people centric, and we didn't want to bring in the adults to do that. And so the Youth Ambassadors Corps stepped in. And so we had several of them, including three of their high school youth ambassadors, one from Aquinas, one from Government High School, and the other one from St. John's College. So this is purely run by our young folks after they've done the training. This is why it's mandatory. You have to attend the trainings.
Yeah. Excellent. This is very exciting. And just so people know, so with this cohort, third place went to Queen's College.
Yes.
Second place went to Aquinas, and first place to our team right here from St. Augustine's College.
Yes.
Excellent stuff. Thank you both for being here this morning. Wishing all the best. Keep us updated. Let us know how things go in September. And we're expecting great things from both of you, Cole Pinder and Jem Walker. Thank you. Congratulations again. And of course, Nellie Curry Bailey for being here. We appreciate you and the good work and the hard work you're doing. Thank you very much. Thank you. And DeAndre Cartwright, congratulations to you. All the exciting things you're doing when you're not on Morning Blend. Good stuff there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very exciting program. Keep us updated, folks. We really appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a break for news and be back with Morning Blend Business, a special new series we're starting with the Ministry of Health. You don't want to miss it.
Sugar, you can surely taste. Then you can call me. What's my name? Problems, yes.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of it. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on Monday, April 7th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright. And this morning we're kicking off a new series with the Ministry of Health. And we're going to be focusing on a number of issues affecting all of us in the country. Today we are starting with mental health, which is a big concern, especially in light of the increase in suicide rates that we are seeing, and attempts as well, that we've been seeing over the past few years, especially this year. And here to help us understand this, guide us through this discussion, we're very pleased to have with us professional therapist Raquel Curry and clinical mental health counselor Reverend Anthony Sampson. Good morning to you both. Great to have you with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so the numbers are concerning, and we always have to wonder, is it because more people are reporting these incidents, or are we actually seeing an increase? Is there any idea what's really happening here?
I think we're actually seeing an increase. The reporting part of it, I don't know, because honestly, people who do go through and commit the final act, why wouldn't it be reported, right? So I think it's actually an increase in people who are making the attempts and finalizing their plans, if you will.
Yeah. And what about attempts? Is that on the rise?
Yes, that is on the rise as well. I think last year we had about 8, and we are now 6 suicides have been reported. So we can see that there is an increase in both suicide, completed suicides, and also persons who are grappling with suicidal ideation.
Yeah. And it's only April, right?
Yeah, and it's only April.
Wow. All right. So what do we think is causing this? What is happening here?
Well, there's a lot of factors that come into play that that people feel overwhelmed, and their only option is to kill themselves. So you have environmental, you have psychological factors, also family factors, and also from a religious perspective, a loss of hope, and the willingness to live, which is connected to kind of a sense of nihilism that basically is nothing to live for. And it takes a lot for a person to actually get to that point. And that's why it is important that persons who are who surround those persons see the signs. And so therefore prevention is definitely necessary.
Yeah. It's hard to find information on anything in this country, unfortunately. But do we know if there are any patterns with the people this year and maybe last year? Is it very random, or were they in similar situations? What do we know?
It's interesting. I actually don't know the details as to why people would have followed through with commitment. Now that you say that, I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard or have heard the reasoning why, but just the incident itself, right? And I agree with Mr. Sampson that there are so many reasons, right? And one of the things that everyone has come to me and kind of had that question, why?
Yeah.
And my question, I love the challenge. My question is, why not? What is society doing to make me not want to? In order to create ideas around how do we prevent that? So if you give me the reason as to why not, then I can understand what needs to be happening to fill in the gaps to create the prevention so that people don't feel like no matter what the circumstances, right? Is it unemployment? Is it infidelity? Did I just lose everything all at once?
Yeah.
Is it the cost of living? Is it economic relapse? Is it the inability to talk to people, right? So I might have people to talk to, but I don't know how to talk to them. I've never learned how to do emotional expression, so I constantly feel alone in this world, right? Are people so anxious about the future that they don't see any future, right? Are people looking to, I asked this question to my students, and the answers became so interesting because people also talked about people who want to commit to, like it's like a save their family, right? What about euthanasia? Like all of these different things that were coming up as to why people, because there's no one size fits all for why. But there can be a one size fits all for why not. Because and not just the government, because everybody, well, what the government, not just the government, what is society as a whole doing to prevent people from getting to that point, right? We joke about people's insecurities all the time. Those things poke and prod constantly at people, right? We make jokes of people's so not only just making jokes, but like we make nicknames out of people's flaws, right? If you have a limp, they call you Limpy. Like, and suppose you're self-conscious about that, right? Entire society problem to create that prevention, because when you answer the question why not, for me it's okay, well we don't even get mental health days at work, right? From a youth perspective, right? What are we doing for the youth for them to move to, because we have options here in this country for people to see therapists, do psychological stuff, but how are we ensuring that they work?
Yeah.
What are we doing? I mean, you can't force a horse to water. You could force a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? But it's so many avenues to this thing that there is no one why, but there's a few one why nots, in my opinion.
And also too, there's still that kind of stigma. I believe that the 6 suicides have been committed by men. So a lot of men, we are still kind of trapped in this whole sense of manhood, that, a real man does not talk. I mean, a real man does not give expression to his feelings. And there are a lot of men in our society who are quietly suffering, and are resorting to behaviors that are not helping the situation that they are going through. And so, as a man, I have encouraged men to let them know that it is okay to talk. It is okay to cry. It is okay to scream. It is okay to express themselves. One of my favorite Psalms, Psalm number 32, where David said, "When I remained silent, my bones waxed within me." And so there's a need in our country for a sense of catharsis, for us to find healthy ways to communicate those kind of inner turmoils that we are experiencing. And this is important because, let's just say within a family setting, we know that there's something wrong, that this person is kind of acting unusual. They're not their typical selves. And sometimes instead of addressing the situation head on, we decide not to address it, or we cover it up.
Yeah.
So families need to have that kind of conversation. If you see behaviors, or if you see a loved one that is acting kind of strange, ask that person directly. Sometimes you may see a person cutting themselves, a person using more drugs or so forth, or sleeping more, or not sleeping at all. And sometimes a person may even talk about killing themselves. And as Doc said, not just to laugh at it and brush it off. Oh, no, man, you're talking fool and X, Y, and Z. No, have a direct conversation and ask them, are you thinking about killing yourself? So
what do you do if the person does say, yeah, I actually am questioning everything? Well, what is the next step?
I think there's empathy that needs to occur, right? It's always, well, what you want to do that for? Like, it's like you rowing.
Right.
I'm not gonna
Snap
come
out
to
of
you-
it.
I'm not going to come to you and talk about something that is endearing to me or like just heavy for me, if you're going to treat it with such, right? It's so interesting. I would say encourage therapy, because it's not therapy, like we were speaking outside of the room. Therapy is not just for people who, the stigma is like we're crazy or something wrong with us or something like that, right? And it's also not to the point where now I've reached my water's edge. Let me now go to therapy, right? That's a dangerous place to be as well. And so I agree with Mrs. Thompson saying that if you start to see the changes, encourage, right? Don't force, don't push. Even with teenagers, again, we're not only talking about adults, right? Because my specialization is in child and adolescents. They are not void of having these thoughts either, right? So sit with your child, sit with your friend, your partner, your loved one. Hey, is everything okay? Right? Yeah, things just tough. I don't really know. Why don't you go and talk to someone about that? Right? Oh, therapy expensive. Now I'm here to say, shameless plug, therapy is not that expensive all the time, right? There are means by which people can get affordable therapy. So people trying to handle it, and that's another thing, people try to handle it right then and there. But if I need surgery, you're not going to give me surgery on the kitchen table, right? So don't try to, it's difficult when that person is already at that point to talk them off the ledge as a normal citizen, right? With no mental health training whatsoever.
Yeah, and not to let pride get in the way. I mean, if you are suffering, cry out.
Yeah.
There are a myriad of avenues available to get help. Brother Strachan, I am a big supporter of community, and it is surprising the amount of people in our country who live alone. And but also too, you could actually be in a crowd and still be alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is good to be a part of a community, and sometimes we isolate ourselves. we're talking on the outside, persons who are going through depression, the kind of self-isolation that a person feels, okay, I need to pull away, I need to be by myself. And what I try to tell people, when you have those kind of feelings, you need people. You need to be around your family. You need to be around some good friends. If you have a church, if you have a pastor, to reach out to go to church or go to some kind of communal setting, because there's some kind of dynamism when you're around people, because the reality is we need help. We need help to live this life.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so Raquel, you said something earlier, and you talked about the future, and it hit me that if you watch the news, if you pay attention to the media, I mean, especially in the last few years, this is the most people have been talking about potential World War III in a long time, and I mean, the future looks pretty scary. Bleak. I didn't want to say bleak, but bleak is the right word.
Yeah.
And I suspect a lot of people are just like, what is the future? What is even the point of all of this? How much is that playing a role in what we're seeing?
I definitely think that a lot of people here in the Capitol, just like from my clients, from conversations that I've had, rooms, sessions, all of these things, a lot of people do have anxiety. A lot of people have anxiety. And without noticing it or just being like, oh, my nerves just on me, things that I've heard Bahamians say, they're not realizing that while they're ignoring that anxiety, it's actually working in the background. You didn't do anything. You didn't resolve it. You didn't get or do or access or try anything to eradicate some of that anxiety. So as it's working in the background, and then you watch the news, and then you go out there and
I was thinking, as Pastor's talking, right? So you go to meet people, and they have all the views that are opposite of what you're thinking, and they're causing you to have more anxiety.
Right.
And because he's pro whatever that is,
Yeah.
and so some people are probably thinking it is best for me to be by myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's just going to create another challenge.
Well, I try to encourage my members to, hey, you have to try your best to tune out the negativity, man, and to focus on some things that are positive, some things that are life-giving. Because if you take in all of this chaos that's going on, it's going to affect your inner peace.
Yeah.
And also to the realization, the older I get, the more I understand that really I can have little control over external realities. There
That's
are some
scary.
things-
That's
you
very
know,
scary.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of we speak about the inner locus of control. Control those things you can. I cannot control what's happening in the United States. Donald Trump decided to put tariffs on almost every country in the world, and that's going to have an effect on us as a country and so forth. And as my sister said, there is that kind of heightened anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'm already going through a situation, and now we have some more external factors that are bearing. And the prayer that I usually pray all the time is the prayer of serenity. Serenity. And God grant me the serenity to accept the things I can change, and to accept the things I cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I try my best to live by that, but also too to realize that there's always tomorrow. That this particular day is not the end all and be all of your life. There's always tomorrow. And as the old folks used to say, trouble don't last always. That there is a sunshine on the horizon.
Maybe ease up on the dystopian dramas and all those movies that are painting a very horrible looking.
And those thoughts are working in the background. You talk about external factors, and I'm like, and I still have to go to work. I still have to take care of my kids. I still have to be a really good partner. Like all of these things still have to happen while all of that is happening in the background.
Yeah.
And at some point, that locus of control gets out of whack, right? A lot of people, for various reasons here in the capital, especially, think that I should be able to control all of these factors.
Yeah.
I should have more control.
Yeah.
Should. And I'm like, no, right? Accept the things that you cannot control, right? You came from a particular, like, their childhood experiences, right? That's also a really big reason as to why people hold on to the anxiety or hold on to depression or also feel alone, right? Because they were. Literally were, right?
Yeah.
They raised themselves emotionally, physically, mentally. They raised themselves.
Yes.
And so what do you say to those people, right, who've already been indoctrinated in the isolation? And now you're saying, like, I gotta, work and do these things and still take care of myself and still take care of these people and that person. Don't let them be taking care of their elders. Like, taking care of an elderly parent is very difficult.
Yeah.
Right? So it's all of that working in tandem. That's what I'm saying. There's no single one why, right? You don't know the one why, but the why, I mean, you could boil it down to being overwhelmed, but what else, You could be overwhelmed at some point, but here we are still living day to day, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what else was it that added to that? What was going on in the background that you were ignoring? What were people saying to you in the joking manner that might have poked at your insecurities? What are you doing with your finances, right? Because financial literacy is very high, right? Like, what is going on with all of these things where we are combining them to create the overwhelm?
Yeah.
It's like an avalanche.
Yes.
Everything comes falling at once.
Almost every day.
And then my question is be like, well, what do you expect? What do you expect? People are going to end up having mental health challenges from all of that. No one can be okay dealing with all of these things all at once, every day, all the time.
All right, callers, we're going to get to you in just a bit. We're talking with Raquel Curry, professional therapist, and Reverend Anthony Sampson, clinical mental health counselor, and talking about mental health issues, especially suicide. You mentioned it earlier, Raquel, about the Mental Health Day, and this is our business hour, but how open are companies to if I say, I'm not coming in today, I'm physically well, but I need a mental health day. Are they really going to be accepting of that?
You know what? It needs no. I don't know. I haven't heard. I mean, there are some companies, of course, global companies that do it here in the capital.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Bahamian companies, because that stigma exists, it's not going to happen, right? So looking at how can we start to create some access to these avenues little by little, because you don't wake up with the overwhelm. When I say wake up, I mean you're not born with the overwhelm. It would happen little by little.
Right.
So you address it little by little, right? So if you go into the companies and you create mental health days, right? I went to a company and I did a talk, and the boss was in the room. And I was like, yeah, managers need to give their staff mental health days. Everybody turned to him and was like, did you hear that? And he was like, I'm going to leave the room right now. No, but it's
do you know
true.
if they ever got it?
No, they didn't get it.
They didn't get
They
it?
did not get it, right? So people end up using their sick days. And here's a plug, right? If I use my sick day for mental health, doesn't that infiltrate the stigma that mental health is something to do with illness and sickness?
Yeah.
And I'm not sick. I just need a day.
Wow.
So it's the little things that we're not paying attention
But is that unreasonable to say that it should come out of your sick days?
No, I mean,
See,
I'm such a
it's
millennial.
really tricky.
Because I was going to say, when I was an HR manager, I gave mental health days, sick days, personal days, and vacation days.
Oh.
Right? Because of the work that we were doing, the workload. If you doing the job of 10 people in one person, you need to give more space, more room to be able to curate what you're giving them.
Yeah.
That's just me and my fairness. Now,
That's
will the
very
world
interesting.
go to that?
What are those for
I
again?
doubt it.
You gave sick days.
Sick days, mental health days, personal days, and vacation days. And it was approved.
Okay.
Right?
Interesting.
So the company understood the importance of it. And the people also understood and were very grateful to having that because the work was so intense. We needed just mental health days.
Yeah.
Because then if you don't take the mental health day, you end up getting sick because there's a mind-body connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you end up
Absolutely.
taking the sick day because you didn't take care of your mental health when it was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
And there are ways in which a company can promote the kind of thing by bringing in a person like Dr. Curry to talk about mental health, to talk about how to deal with stress and so forth, because a healthy workforce leads to a productive business. And so the two are intertwined.
Yeah.
It's integrated, But I think more and more businesses and even our hotels provide forums for the kind of discussion for persons to come in and talk about mental health.
That's the next question. All right, so discussions and therapy, you mentioned that it's not expensive here, but that's a problem with a lot of people. They don't want other people to know their business, to talk their business, and we feel that in this small country that is a problem, and so you'd rather keep it bottled in because you don't want to hear this come back to you from somewhere else. How much is that contributing to the challenges we're seeing here? Our size and the fact that we're a very Godspeed bunch of people.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, Brother Strachan, you're still going to have to trust someone, Of course, as a pastor, I am sworn to confidentiality, but as Dr. Curry would also say, but there are exceptions, when it comes to confidentiality, but we will share that with the client, all right? I encourage persons to seek professional mental health, okay? Because that person has a sworn oath and duty to maintain confidentiality. And the person is actually equipped to help you to deal with what you are struggling with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're
So so BPA, along with the Crisis Center and the Ministry of Health and Wellness, all have hotline numbers, right? Getting that out there, maybe putting it on a billboard if we have to say these are your hotline numbers. They work. You have access to them for free if you feel like you are getting to that point on the edge. Also, just encourage, like Ms. Simpson said, encouraging people to go to therapy, right? There are several therapeutic practices here in the capital, but also people who practice privately. And I was just telling him that one of the things that I decided to do was offer free therapy, right? Because, and that's how I know that there's a shift. Because all I did was go on social media and say, free therapy is offered, and like there was a wave of responses. So people are wanting the service, right?
Oh, who were they? Like, can you age groups, men, women? What were you seeing?
All.
Okay.
Every age group from like 18 to like 60. Access. It doesn't discriminate.
Yeah.
I was very happy to see men, though. I must say, I was very happy. There also has been an uptick in my clientele as males as well, which I very, very much so appreciate. But you have, if there's children, you have things like the ComAge, Caribbean Center that also do assessments, right? Because sometimes the issues can be neurological, right? They do neurological assessments for kids who might, have difficulties with learning developments and stuff like that. Engaging in the public seminars and programs, right? Because ZestFest just happened with CG Atlanta last week, Saturday. And that was just meant to combine mind and body, everybody under one place. Like, go to those things, get the resources, right? Because people were quick to say, well, we don't know what nothing happening. Did you go? Did you get the resources, right? Did you get the plan for it? Do you understand that you don't only have to talk about stress? You could go to a massage therapist and deal with stress from your body's angle, right? You could go to an acupuncturist. You could go to
the beach.
There's so many ways to resolve these issues. To address your people don't want to talk. Okay, you don't have to talk.
Right.
But let's figure out how we can get this lowered from a holistic standpoint. If you want to do holistic medicine, a Western medicine standpoint, that's psychiatry. Let's look at a body perspective, which is people who stress is stored in our neck, shoulders, and lower back, right? Looking at people who address those areas, getting something more frequently that might be a little bit more budget friendly.
Wow.
Women, most of the times when women are feeling low, they don't get like their hair and nails done and stuff like that. But aesthetics
Self-care.
can also, self-care. Aesthetics can also help. And for those that don't be into that, if you have like friend groups trying to come together. If you feel like you have a group of judgmental friends, don't do that. That's not your group. Don't do that. Right? Find people who are non-judgmental. Looking at the BPA is always having like things within communities, right? We're partnering with all different organizations who look into give the public more access. So I think, and even just having this conversation, there are people who are listening, right? So just engaging, influencing constantly. If you see you know about Donald Trump because you see him on social media, TV, this, that, the third, right? But when it comes to mental health, the conversations are mainly how many listeners are here, right? How can you reach? You have to do multimodal. You have to be multimodal.
Yeah.
And two, you have to prioritize self-care. So, it just can't be random. You have to prioritize it. And I feel that a lot of times we spend our monies on things that are really not beneficial for our overall health, especially as men, okay? You go to the liquor store and you buy a whole bunch of liquor, X, Y, and Z, probably spend over maybe $100 and something, okay? But then when it comes to your self-care, you want to find something free.
But liquor is self-care, what you mean?
Yeah.
Alcohol is self-care. Let them tell you.
It is what I call negative coping mechanism.
Temporary fix.
It is a negative coping mechanism. But, Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. So when I love myself properly, I am able to love the other person properly. Yeah. And I think that, what we're experiencing in our society, even as it relates to crime, stems from negative self-love that is then projected onto others, and so forth. Yeah. So it is important. It is important that we emphasize the importance of self-care. That it's okay to love yourself. Yeah.
And like you said, if you know somebody who's alone or living alone, maybe invite them out to do something like this.
But Dwight, even like within the context of marriage, like I talk to a lot of men who are married, and they're always giving to the children, giving to the wife and so forth, making sure that the home is taken care of and working hard in X, Y, and Z. And something happens and they just explode, So, okay, you're giving, but how are you taking care of yourself? And also, too, don't just wait for someone to treat you. If I treat my wife to Baja retreat, I'm going to go along with her. Both of us going to get a massage and manicure and pedicure and X, Y, and Z. And a lot of our men, Dr. Curry, we find it sometimes difficult to receive love.
Yeah.
And then where does that come from?
Yeah, and to love ourselves. Yes, you can love your girlfriend, love your wife, and so forth. There's nothing wrong with that. But hey, from my brother, take care of you.
Yeah. Wow. Okay? All right, the phone lines are lit up. People have a lot of questions. We're talking with Raquel Curry and Reverend Anthony Sampson. We're talking about mental health, suicides especially. But let's hear from you. Caller, you are on the air. Good morning. Are you there? Good morning. Hi, good morning. We can hear you.
Dwight, guess how you doing?
Doing well.
Good morning.
Hey, Rita, no, your doctor there forgot to mention the fact that some medication causes depression and suicidal thoughts and dreams. He forgot to touch base on that. Second thing, right? If you want to stop being depressed, stop watching the news.
Well, or make sure you're getting your news from a sensible source, perhaps.
I'll take it just a little bit.
Right. You do need to be informed. But hey, but some news sites are more opinion than news coverage. Yeah. And so that is dangerous. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, are you there? Call us back. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 720. All right, so back when I was in a different place, and psychology major. But we learned, and this was interesting as somebody who was getting into media, that the coverage in the media of suicide and suicide attempts can actually have some damaging effects. Are we overblowing the coverage here compared to other places? What do you think of that? Especially when it comes to attempts.
That's a good question.
That is a good question because again, people feed from the media, right? Constantly, they get that for their information, but when you don't necessarily filter out the stuff that could add to the background, remember I was talking about the background earlier, then you get what you can get from it. So I think it's good, but I also think it's bad, right? Because it's good to say, hey, I don't know why y'all thought this wasn't happening here.
It's happening.
But it's happening.
You need to be aware.
Even
Yes.
as young as 8. Stop thinking that children are not a part of this. And I'm such an advocate for the youth. I'm like, they're a part of this.
Yeah.
Right? But then also you have the attempts. I don't know if I've heard about attempts in the news. I don't remember seeing any attempts.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few. Almost every week there are at least 2.
Reporting attempts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the news has to do its job. But as therapists, we also have a job to do. How do we address what's happening? I would say this. Try your best to tune out as much negativity as possible, because our culture, particularly Western culture per se, we like to sensationalize negativity and carnage. And we like to highlight the bad and so forth. And so crime will take basically 1 hour, maybe 45 minutes, and then we have a little positivity for 15 minutes. And that does something. Because as a society, we need to interject more sunlight into the darkness. We are inundated. We got social media and all these other kind of stuff.
But the perception out there is that is boring. No one's going to watch it. No one's into that stuff.
Right. So the sensationalized.
Well, then you will continue to have the problems you have.
Yeah.
That goes right back to my first point. Why not? Like, what is happening as an eagle-eye view societally that brings that light to and through the darkness that many of our people face, not only just here in the capital, but the islands as well, right? What are we doing, all of us collectively, to be able to give people that glimmer of hope or that listening ear or, that non-judgment, let me underline non-judgmental space.
Yeah. But you have to be intentional with this, right? So if you see that you're following somebody on social media that is really spewing out the negativity or reposting, retweeting, unfollow, block them, mute them. Same thing with the TV shows that are really making you feel anxious every time you watch it or listen to it. Radio shows too. Maybe it's us. I don't know. But you got to ease up on it.
Yeah.
If I could also say too, that a lot of people are empty inside. Seriously, I mean, we have we kind of have a hollowing out of society and this kind of bankruptcy, especially when it comes to materialism, because a lot of us feel that unless I have, like, in other words, having is connected to my sense of self-worth. Like Rene Descartes talks about, I think, therefore I am. But in our culture, I have, therefore I am.
Yeah.
So what happens to your sense of self-being if you do not have it? And the culture
and
has...
we do a good job of making people without it feel like they are not worth anything either.
And the culture has fed us that hey, unless I drive a particular car, unless I live in a particular area, unless I live in this kind of house with X, Y, how many rooms?
Go to this school or have been to that school.
Go to this school and...
work this job, have this position.
Therefore, you'll have this kind of heightened depression and suicide or feeling that life is worthless simply because I don't have what society tells me I should.
But it's interesting because even the people that have still have depression. So it's like this is an unescapable truth.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
It's an unescapable truth.
And everything isn't as wonderful as it looks on the outside.
Correct.
Correct. Boy, we need several hours more for this. Let's see if we can squeeze this caller really quickly. Good morning, caller. Are you there?
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
This is Dr. Lavette Scott, giving my official name. I'm also a clinical mental health counselor living in North Carolina and actually on the board for the North Carolina mental health. So we oversee all of the counselors in the state of North Carolina. But I want to ask this question, and I know I've also been on the pulse with the association back home as well. You know, I attend the meetings as much as I can, and I speak to a lot of counselors and school counselors as well. And something I think Dr. Curry said in terms of she also, accept persons for free counseling. I want to find out, does insurance back home allows for free counseling, just like medical, going for anything if you got something medical. Also, does the insurance allow for first 3 counseling sessions? Because that also is going to help because, like you said, some persons don't have the money to go ahead.
You get a
and
free
do counseling.
annual physical, but will they
Yes.
cover your first your first session? That's a great question.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We're running out of time. Thank you.
Yeah,
Really
okay.
appreciate it.
So I just want to answer that really quickly. So insurance companies are coming into the fold. It's a slow country, right? So they are coming into the fold and giving mental health therapy. Now you could do it one of 2 ways, right? Where you pay upfront and then the company pays you back. But companies can also make a alliance with corporations, right? Back to work, right? As a benefit that the company will pay for the first 3 and then with insurance, they'll do 50%, right? So they're now coming into the fold of giving people options because a lot of times people who come to me say, do you accept insurance? So insurance places and an insurance agency actually just reached out to me for me to become a provider. So
that's
they
excellent.
are moving into the fold.
That's information.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
this is happening.
I almost think you should say the name of that insurance.
Hey, CG, y'all got to pay for this. That's
great.
There are some
That's awesome.
companies, insurance companies here that do cover mental health, right? But I don't think it's the company will give you like this much for the year. I don't think it works like that. I can't really speak on it, but I know for a fact, even when I was working in a private practice when I first came home, we accepted insurance, right? So, but it was y'all pay us and then y'all go to insurance and work it out.
And that's important. That's important because the mind, what happens in the mind, affects the body. People, we try to dichotomize, but you have to approach a person holistically, mind, body, and soul, So if a person is stressed out, that's going to have a biological effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So therefore, therapy is very crucial.
Yeah. This time has gone by very quickly. You got each of you about 15 seconds to make your final comments. We have to have you both back. This has been a great discussion. But for those people hurting out there, who are hearing what you said, but this sounds easy, but I'm still struggling. What do you say?
Yeah, well, to that person who finds themselves in kind of a dark space, who feels bereft of hope, I just want to encourage you to let you know that there's always tomorrow, that your day is not the end. And don't give up. Reach out, ask for help, and get the necessary assistance that you need to pull you out of that particular quagmire that you were in. There are several and a lot of psychological avenues and therapeutic avenues in our country available. And so I just want to encourage you to reach out.
Yeah. Here we go.
Of course, I'm going to shameless plug for those. So follow the Ministry of Health and Wellness page for more information. You can follow the Muhammad Psychological Associate, that's social media users. You can also look at the Crisis Center for information, for they have voluntary things and have events as well. And then for, you can follow my company, beyondourhealth.com, www.beyondourhealth.com, because there are a host of therapists, personal trainers, massage therapists, speech therapists. I'm trying to address a holistic perspective with that as well. So there's, like you said, there's a lot of different avenues, and I think just giving people what they are, naming them is important, right? So that's
Wonderful. It's been a great discussion. Thank you so
Awesome.
much for
Thank
being
you.
here this morning. We have to have you back. Raquel Curry, Reverend Anthony Sampson. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again. It's brought to you by the Ministry of Health, and we're going to have more on these type discussions going forward. Thank you again for being here this morning. Deandra Cartwright, thank you for being here this morning. Appreciate you always.
Thank you so much, Dwight, Sean, for always having me.
And folks, pick up today's Nassau Guardian for the Guardian business section. There's all the business news that you need in there. And that's brought to you in part by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Tune in tonight to CFAL Talks right here on Guardian Radio at 6:30 p.m. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Pinder is carrying a new line of tile, the Sky series of porcelain. Comes in 4 colors, tones, and shades. There's Sky Noir, Sky Azure, Sky Glance, and this one, Sky Gris. Sky Gris, as you'd imagine, gives you a smoky kind of feel. It's not heavy and depressing, but gives the area a chill feeling. The Sky series comes in 2 formats, 24 by 24 at $5.30 a square foot, 12 by 24 at $5.25 a square foot. I really like this series for big spaces, and being porcelain, they can take a lot of traffic. The Sky series at Pinder Tile.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.